Everyone has something they battle with internally, and one of the challenges for me has been feeling like I'm not enough. I want to tell you my side of the story. I'm not professional, but I think some things have changed for me over those years, and I have developed some things that really help me. I want to share the challenge with you because this is one of the things that is still with me, that I have worked over the years. It's something deep rooted in me, and I thought this topic is a good thing to share with you. Maybe you also feel that in things you do in your life. I think ultimately we all want to live more fulfilling, peaceful, exciting life that we actually feel like we're living our lives like we want to. Hi, my name is Victoria. I'm an artist and songwriter. Now I'm creating my first album about my emotion wounds that became my strength. My purpose is to help you guys to elevate in your life, to really tune into your sadness and find the peace and exciting life you deserve to live. I know how it feels when you want to do something different than your friends. You feel kind of alone. You don't have no one to talk to. I made a Discord group, Vicky's Art Collective, so we can talk about art, we can talk about our feelings, what we're struggling, what we want to do in life. This is meant for all of the artists, or if you're just a person who feels like who want to talk with someone. So check out the link below. What does I am not enough really mean? I opened my Google and I googled it, and this is what Google had to say. We form a belief that we are only of value when we are successful, productive, or achieving great things. And this causes us to feel inadequate if we aren't. This causes us to attach feelings of inadequacy to ourselves and develop low self-esteem, worth as though showing up and just existing is not enough. I can relate to it so much because that's literally what I've been going through internally. This describes so much me, like why I always have to do everything. So that is why I want you to reflect on yourself. What does that actually mean to you? What goes through your mind of actually thinking, what is not enough for me? What are the certain things I do? Which leads me to this question, where does it come from? And according to Google and some sources I looked from, it comes back from your childhood, which is actually understandable because of the fact that when you were born you learn behaviors, you observe your parents, you learn to talk that way, you understand the world as in your best ability to survive as a child. It can be that your parent also pushed you to it, like you tried to prove yourself all the time and it was never enough. They were like ignoring you, or they were just like, why don't you focus on this, because the parent even didn't know what to expect from you and they just pushed you to this end. So now if you are older, you're like, oh my god, I feel like I'm not enough, I don't deserve these things, I don't really deserve to understand the world and step into that. So these two questions are really roughly you should ask yourself to reflect on, like what they mean to you also, not what they say, but how does it show up in your life and what behaviors you learned in your time when you were a child or when you were older. I was also a child who was trying to prove them that I'm worthy, look at me, I'm doing this, this and that. What do you think of it? It's like sometimes we don't realize that this was the root of it, or the root of us of growing to think I'm not enough because I still got denied. Which leads me to this part, how it all started. It's really important to find it out because sometimes we think like, oh, it's just me, I do bad things, but that's not the reality. I will share you my personal story. Definitely for me, my not enoughness, this feeling or this denial feeling that I have to always prove myself and do something, otherwise I have no worth, is definitely rooted from my parents because I wanted to always like show that I'm a good kid. So I really needed someone to confirm me or find me or affirm me, oh, you're okay, it's good, you're doing great. But because I didn't got these words, I'm like kind of needing it more, but in a different way when I'm older, right? I'm an artist and I've chosen to be, and I started to do things with art. I've held myself back to share my music. I played small all the time, and this is already indicator that I don't think of myself as worthy. I used to say that, oh, there's so many singers, why would I try? Like, what am I doing, Like, why should I even try? And I would compare so hard that I would cry, I would become numb, that I couldn't do anything. Although this inspiration and this person inside me, this confident side of me, really believe that this is something I truly love. I love creating and I always have loved it. I had really low self-esteem and I had suffered with depression a long time ago. I had really suicidal thoughts. There is also this other side of this mask confidence. I call it mask confidence because I didn't want to be that either. So, there's also these sides of it. One is like you're really bad with yourself, really low self-esteem. They are both low self-esteem, but it's like one is like really like, oh, I'm the best, like I need to always, you still need to show people and you somehow need to be like, look at me. But there's no between. You learn some behaviors that just make you more miserable and you just mask on top of each thing. It also shows up when you compare yourself with people, and that's something we can't help. If we are passionate about something, then it makes sense we care about it. So we're like kinda looking for it, and when we see someone doing it better than us, then we're like, oh my god, what am I doing? I need to do better. And then you are in this hole of like self-pity and kind of like, oh, why can't I be better, why they get it so easily. Have you double guessed yourself and you just can't pick anything, and it makes you feel like you don't have opinion, but you do, but you're just like, no, I don't know what I want, what you want, so you please a lot of people. So this is also one indicator that you don't have enough self respect towards yourself, and you're just saying all the time, oh no, I don't deserve it, let them decide, I will do whatever they want. And this is also indicator that you most likely are feeling like you don't deserve it and you're not enough to deserve it. There are a lot of underlying issues, but for this example I'm gonna keep it like simple, just so you get the idea. If you ever see yourself thinking about it, or see yourself in similar patterns, or you see yourself playing yourself down or anything, I want you to give like a thinking pattern to find out like, maybe I do act like I'm not enough, maybe I haven't treated myself great. For me, it has showed up so many ways, and that's why I want to tell you this story. Last year I started to go to community to connect with different businesses to learn more about business world, and every time I would like come back for a week, I would think over what did I say, what was I wrong of saying, because I cared so much about it, and I felt like I am like, how do I say, like someone small, like I don't deserve it, like guessing myself. That's the thing why I said, are you guessing yourself? And you're like, oh, why did you do that? It's a good reflection. But at the same time, when it comes to downplaying yourself and you're for a week like overthinking it, it's not really friendly towards yourself. It can just hold you back. If you get really stressed or triggered about anything, it means that you're really passionate about it. You think about it, you want to do it, you want to really connect with people. Because for me it was really important I can connect with people, because I wanted to make an impact and actually like help others and see their minds, how they work, what are they struggling, because I'm really passionate about it. So that's what I've seen on myself, what happened with me last year, and now I am trying to stop displeasing and think more for myself, because I think it's really important. And now we get to the good stuff. Finally, we are in this deep question I want you to think about. What are the things I can do so it won't make my life miserable? If you know what you've been doing, it's easier to relearn and find new ways how you can help yourself. I think the hard truth is that we have chosen it for a long time because it was needed, and we didn't know better, and that's the reality. And I think that's why it's powerful, because you have the control. If you choose to be, you're like, okay, where am I acting like I'm not enough? When do I say those things like I'm not enough? Like, what actions I feel like I'm denied, even if there's no actual proof I'm denied. I can tell you, me posting my social media stuff now, it's like talking to the wall, because I feel like I don't get the answers to followers whatever you wish, right? I think that's why we can be gentle with ourselves, because you didn't know, but now you know it, and now you can take control. Take the ball in your court. Don't let this small little version of you rule the world. Don't let this person who survived with the best they could in an environment they were at, don't let this little girl take over your whole life, because I think that's your power to finally realize, now it's my turn. Thank you, little Victoria, for taking care of me when you were needed, but now I let go of you and I can move forward to live the life I deserve, actually. It leads me to this one thing: what really matters is purpose. This is something, of course, I took time, but knowing why you do it, it's the intention behind it. I know that I don't just do it for me, I don't do it just to show off, I don't do it any of that, which is totally fine if anyone wants to do it, but my intention is always to help other artists, to help people like me who struggle with similar things. I want you to just think. I want your mind to go to little thinking circles, start asking questions to really find ways to solve it. Intention is also good when you meet people, when you try to make new friends, and whatever you do, really, I think intention is your best bet, I can say, because whenever I've chosen intention to go share something inspirational, to learn with people, to share life with them, then I've seen that, I'm more peaceful. Like, I'm not starting to please everyone and act as I'm your fake friend and I have to agree with everything. And I think this is actually my year challenge, to not agree with everyone. Not because I'm always so agreeable, but I want to be like, I don't need to agree with you, but we can still be friends. I want to be that way, because I feel like otherwise I'm like pleasing everyone around me and I just forget that I also matter. I don't know about you, but it never worked on me that people say, oh, just don't compare yourself and you'll be fine. Anything that comes with don't or something, it's really hard to be like, okay, I don't, It's more of like, but it still happens. And I think that's one thing that really helped me, was like accepting that I will compare myself if I care about something so much. And that is the real thing. It's like, you care about this thing because you also want to reach high things. I want you to think of it as like everyone has different levels, and maybe they are level 20 and they also started for level 20, and that's the thing, you had to start from -100. Maybe you didn't start from even 0, and yours was like -100 level, and you had to climb up from there to even get to the decent level. And I think that's important notion to understand. That actually helped me to calm a little bit down, to be like, hey, maybe they went through something else, and that's, they have their own story to tell. And I think that is your superpower, is this unique story what you have, and only you have it. It is internal problem, and it is something you need to figure out yourself, how I can be more gentle, how I can learn to be happier for others. And that's something I have like teach myself, read about it, I looked for it, how I can be happy for others if I feel like I'm piece of crap, pretty much. And really, the indicator is always low self esteem. And that is why this point is really important. It helps with everything else. I also want to highlight that I don't like to fake things. That's why I am truthful to myself. I'm like, hey, yeah, I feel jealous for this person, and I do compare myself even if I don't intend to be. You understand it when you watch someone, you start to stalk them like desperately, and you look at them and you're like, oh, they're so lucky. Oh, this is the moment you're like, okay, I'm in this, they call it brain rot, or I'm in this cycle of overthinking it and feeling like I'm worthless. How do I help myself? I think this question is important because of the fact that it is self-work. And I know everyone has heard it, oh, become your best friend, but that is the truth. How else you're gonna grow? If you're always telling these bad words toward yourself, then nothing changes. You're still gonna feel like you're not enough. And I think that's what I did to myself. Like over time, I grown, I started to affirm myself, I started to be like, hey, that's good. It's like patting your own back. I learned to clap on myself when I do something, even if it's hard. It's not perfect, it doesn't work all the time, but it does work. Like first time when I performed for a long time in Poland, it was my first stage thing. I literally started to cry. After that, I felt so anxious, horrible. I was like, oh, that was so bad. I was shaking. And the second time I went there, I decided to not like break down after singing because it can't happen all the time. It just doesn't serve me because I want to sing and I feel like it's something I genuinely love. So I actually clapped at myself and it looked really funny. I was like performing, and after this I was like, good job, Victoria, good job, Victoria. I said it to myself, because this is the mantra you're gonna hear, and if you repeat it yourself most of the time, then it's gonna become true and you're gonna be your best support. And this is the way you get to be your best friend. That is why you need to take time with yourself, to go on dates with yourself. And I think that's also one practice I took on this year, to more think for myself, not selfishly, but more of like, hey, how do I feel about it? Like, how do I feel about this situation? Like, do I want it to happen again, or should I set any boundaries to myself? Or this is like kind of respecting yourself. It's easy to respect other people or give kindness and help them, but if it comes to like helping yourself, we're like, oh, whatever, just toss myself there. But I think that's why, like, I took this challenge for myself. Now I feel like I'm ready for it and I need it. I need like to become the fuller version of myself that's confident, to also stand ground on what I believe in and what actually works for me and that are healthy for me, because otherwise the world is gonna eat you up and you're just gonna float in it and you're gonna feel forever, the rest of your life, you're not enough. It is true that it's gonna be there, this anxiousness a little, but it doesn't necessarily numb you anymore. That's how I feel. I've been so consistent with YouTube videos and I'm like, what is it? What changed in me? And I was like, oh, it's actually the belief. It's the internal dialogue inside of me. Even if I cringe at my videos, I'm like, oh my god, what did I say? Why did I say like that? And I stutter like some words sometimes. I'm like, oh my god, this is just you know I cut some of them part I cut some parts out, but I can't cut everything because there's a point, there's a meaning there, and sometimes I don't do 100 takes and it's complicated. I kind of also accept this flaw in me that I'm growing into it, and also I'm human, right? We're humans. We're not like, perfect machines that can do like straight face the full video without mistakes. And I think that that's important because that makes us actually feel like we can all do it. And I think that's what I want to give you, the sense of, or the thinking of. I want to push you in the corner to start to be like, okay, maybe I can do better, maybe I can do some crazy stuff I always wanted to do, and you want to jump into it now. Or you want to just learn how to be your best friend, to go on a date with you. It's really hard, it's really hard to be like, okay, say to your boyfriend or your husband, like, oh, I'm just gonna go on a date with me, and I'm just gonna go to work with me. It's like, what you doing? I want to be also serious about it. Like, if you don't do anything and you don't think about it and you don't even give yourself chance to be better, then nothing changes, and that's the reality. Then you're gonna still act as like you're the victim of life, like you're not enough whatever you do. Like, you just feel like you are just you're not on control, you can't control anything. And that's the thing, it's the best to find control in something you can, not to focus on the things you can't. I can't save the whole world, but I can save myself, you know? This is the start of it. And perhaps you heard it's like, I can't fill from an empty cup. Do you want to be good with your friends? Do you want to be good with your lovers? Do it for them if you can't do it for yourself in the beginning, because I really couldn't. And I'm really trying to learn to do it also for myself now, because I don't know, it's been always my thing, like, oh, I'm just gonna do it for everyone else because they suffered so much, and I would just throw myself and not realize that actually I need to also do it for myself. I was doing it for myself, but I found it better to think of, I'll do it for everyone else, you know? What works for you works for you. I want you to become experimental. I want you to start thinking, testing, going crazy, you know, doing some weird practices you never believe in. I want you to actually embrace your full self, because you're really worth it, and this not enoughness is just gonna be there, and you're just gonna have to shoot back. Shoot back to your brain, say back to your brain, hey, look, yo, I know you're mad at me. You've been mad at me for the rest of my life, you know, but now it's time to turn the table. My habits are actually things that really helped me. So, like, I try and I still do meditation, journaling, stretching sometimes. Now I go dancing again, which was a challenge for me. I was really scared, but I need some physical activity because otherwise I'm like, you know, house rat, I call myself, you know. And all of these things, this practice has really grown me. I learned new techniques, ways to see myself, to be more gentle with myself, you know, talk with people who are interesting on internet or wherever, and it has helped me to be like, hey, maybe I can give myself a chance, maybe I can really try, maybe I am enough, maybe I deserve it. And I think that's the best thing. The moment you start being like, okay, I'm gonna take myself seriously, I'm gonna live my life, I'm gonna find the fulfillment for myself, I'm gonna find what it means to me even, I think this is the moment actually the growth happens. And it doesn't like happen overnight, that's reality. It's like, it's gonna look flop, you're gonna still cry at some point, but that's why I like to like have in my notebooks like memories to look back. Oh, look how you wrote in that time. I can see, wow, I was more anxious, I was more on survival mode. Now I'm like more of peaceful. I'm like actually talking of reality of my life, like the way my thinking and talking has developed is really interesting to see, and I think that's why it's really cool to track yourself. Even if you don't really like it or believe in it, just small little sentences even can help you, or you can record yourself, whatever works for you. I really want you to reflect on these questions and really see what is going to help you, what is going to help you to move forward from this feeling, and how can I live with this feeling and accept it, that this is actually something that's been with me, and now I just don't let it guide my life. I'm just gonna let it sit there but not guide my life and take over. As an artist, no matter how much you struggle, you never get the recognition, even if I will never get it, I think I know my legacy, and that's something that matters to me. Is like, if there's one or two people who look at my videos and be like, hey, she tried it. Yeah, maybe she didn't, you know, hit some numbers she wanted, but no matter what, she had fulfilling life because she did something she wanted to do. And that's what I want for you. Even if it doesn't work out, I learned something, I developed myself, I can see my growth already, and I'm like, I'm just gonna go on. This is your superpower, your difference, the way you do things, the way you carry yourself, like the way you are is your superpower. And definitely use your story. It's gonna be unique to you. That's why in the end the comparison doesn't even beat anything. You are so unique and powerful, and only you have this story and personality because of your unique journey you went through. So go have a nice shower, think about your thoughts, or go on a walk and relax your thoughts. If you like this video, check out my last song I made in FL Studio. It was such a fun project with my Kalimba, of course. See you next time. Bye!